All right, let's dive right into Grant Cardone's 10x rule.
Yeah, this will be fun.
We're going to unpack like all the main ideas and
The core principles.
yeah, exactly. And try to see what we can learn from it.
Yeah, and see how it applies to everyone listening.
Exactly. So to start off, Cardone, he looks at success differently.
Yeah, he does. It's not just about like reaching some goal,
Right.
it's about keeping it going, doing it again and again.
Right. Not a one-time thing.
Not at all. He has this great analogy about it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he compares success to breathing.
Interesting.
Like,
Yeah.
you can't just take one breath and call it a day.
Right.
You got to keep taking those breaths.
Consistently.
Yeah, and on purpose, deliberately.
So it's like a continuous journey.
Exactly. It really changes how you think about it.
Totally. And that kind of leads us to the main idea, the 10x rule.
It does.
So what's that all about? What's it mean to 10x your goals?
Okay, so Cardone says you got to set targets 10 times higher than what you think you can do.
Wow.
And then put in 10 times the effort you think you need.
10 times? That's intense.
It sounds crazy, but he's got a reason for it.
What's that?
He says, we always underestimate how much work it takes to reach big goals.
Even if you think you're being ambitious.
Even then, we hit those roadblocks. We get discouraged. Sometimes we just give up.
Makes sense.
So the 10x rule, it forces us to face that.
Head on.
Yeah, like even if we don't hit that crazy 10x
Yeah.
target,
Right.
we're still doing way more than if we set a smaller goal.
So it's kind of like aiming high, even if you miss, you're still going farther.
Exactly. And he has this story in the book really illustrates it.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
He talks about launching a product.
Okay.
And he thought he put in a lot of work, but it failed.
Oof.
Then he applied the 10x rule.
Put in 10 times the effort.
Yeah. And it was like night and day. The product took off.
That's amazing.
It shows you how aiming higher can actually make you more successful.
It really makes you think about your own goals, right?
It does.
Like, what could you achieve if you applied that 10x thinking?
Now, there's another common belief that he challenges.
What's that?
It's the idea that success is limited, like a pie.
So if someone gets a big slice, there's less for everyone else.
That's the idea, but he calls it the myth of shortages.
The myth of shortages.
Yeah, he says there's enough success for everyone.
Wow.
And he uses the world around us as proof.
Like what?
Look at Apple, Microsoft, Amazon. They're huge success. It didn't stop anyone else.
True. It kind of shows what's possible.
Exactly. So instead of that scarcity mindset, what if we thought differently?
Like an abundance mindset.
Yeah, knowing there's enough success to go around.
That could change how we approach our goals.
For sure. And that brings us to one of the most, well, maybe controversial parts.
Oh, what's that?
Massive action.
Here we go. This is where it gets real.
He doesn't just talk about working hard. It's massive action.
So what does that even mean?
It's going way beyond what's normal.
Like pushing the limits?
Yeah, it's not just about more hours. It's about intensity, commitment, that drive.
Bringing that fire.
Here's this great example.
I bet it's wild.
He cold called every business in El Paso. That's massive action.
Whoa, that's dedication.
And it's not just quantity, it's quality too.
Right, it's got to be focused.
Like imagine two people working.
Okay.
One's putting in long hours, but they're all over the place, distracted,
Okay, and the other one?
laser focused, working with real intention.
Who's going to get better results?
The focus one, for sure.
So it's about working smart, not just hard.
Exactly. So what could you do to take massive action today, even a small step?
That's a great question. And along with that, there's another piece.
Oh yeah.
Obsession.
Obsession. That can be a loaded word.
It can. So how does he use it in a positive way?
He says it's about being totally consumed by your goals.
Like you can't stop thinking about them.
Yeah, that unwavering belief and relentlessly going after it.
I think about Colonel Sanders pitching his chicken idea over 80 times. Or Walt Disney. People thought he was crazy for the amusement park idea.
And look at them now.
They were obsessed, but in a good way.
It fueled them.
So it's not just about being fixated, it's channeling that passion.
Exactly. So ask yourself, what are you truly obsessed with? Are your actions showing it?
That's a powerful question. And as we think about that, we have to talk about change.
Change is constant.
It is. And those who resist it get left behind.
Successful people, they don't fear change.
They embrace it.
They see it as an opportunity to grow and do something new.
Like Steve Jobs, always reinventing Apple products before anyone else.
He was always ahead of the game, anticipating the next big thing.
It's about being proactive, not waiting for change to happen to you.
So are you holding on to old ways? Resisting change? What are you missing out on?
That's a great question to ask yourself. Now, this next part is really interesting.
Oh, what's that?
Cardone's view on ethics, he connects it to success.
That's unique. Tell me more.
He doesn't just see ethics as rules, it's part of reaching your potential.
Yeah.
He actually says underachieving is an ethical issue.
Like you're not living up to what you could do.
Exactly, you're not fulfilling your responsibility to use your talents.
So it's not just about personal success, it's about making a positive impact.
Right, using your gifts to make the world better.
So are you fulfilling your potential? What are your ethical obligations?
Deep questions to think about.
They are, and it leads us to Cardone's perspective on commitments.
Which we'll dive into in part 2 of this deep dive.
Looking forward to it. So we're about to get into Cardone's view on commitments, right?
Yeah, and you said it's not just about keeping promises.
It's deeper than that.
I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
Okay, so he says every role we have, parent, spouse, business owner, whatever,
Right.
it comes with obligations to perform at our highest level.
So it's not just doing the bare minimum,
No, it's about exceeding expectations.
going above and beyond.
And here's where ethics comes in again.
Oh, so
He believes underachieving is unethical.
you're not using your full potential.
Exactly. You're not living up to your responsibilities
Yeah.
to yourself and others.
It adds a whole new layer to it. It's not just about personal gain.
It's about making a positive impact, fulfilling your potential.
That's powerful. Now, this next part might surprise some people.
What's that?
Cardone says competition is for sissies.
Whoa, strong words.
I know, right? Why does he say that?
He believes competition actually limits us.
Limits us how?
It stops us from thinking creatively.
Interesting.
When we're focused on what others are doing, we're just reacting.
Trying to keep up.
Yeah, instead of forging our own path.
So it's not about competing, it's about dominating.
Exactly, setting the pace, defining the rules.
Like Apple, Tesla, they don't just compete, they create new categories.
They disrupt, they innovate.
It's inspiring, but how do we apply that 10x thinking?
It's easy to get caught up comparing ourselves.
Trying to keep up with the Joneses.
Cardone's advice is simple: do what others won't do.
Take those risks.
The things others think are too hard, too crazy.
That's how you stand out.
He has this example. He developed a whole new sales process
Yeah.
called information assisted selling, way before the internet boom.
Ahead of his time.
It was bold and it worked because he wasn't afraid to be different.
It's about breaking the mold, thinking outside the box.
Now, this next topic, it might make some people uncomfortable.
Why is that?
Cardone talks about breaking out of the middle class.
Interesting. Why challenge that aspiration?
He says the middle class is often trapped.
Trapped by what?
Their own thinking. They're susceptible to economic instability.
I play it safe.
Yeah, avoid risk, settle for mediocrity.
Even the upper middle class, they can be vulnerable.
It's about breaking free from that mentality.
Aiming higher.
Yes, achieving true security, freedom.
Making a real impact.
So it's not about looking down on anyone.
It's about challenging limitations.
Inspiring people to dream bigger, achieve more.
Embrace that 10x mindset.
And that leads us to risk. Cardone says it's essential for 10x success.
Why is that?
Playing it safe only gets you average results.
You gotta take chances.
It's those who embrace uncertainty, take calculated risks, they break through.
He has an interesting take on fear.
What's that?
He doesn't see it as something to avoid.
More like a sign you're on the right track.
If you're not feeling any fear, you're not pushing hard enough.
It's about using that fear as fuel,
Overcoming the fear of rejection is huge too.
especially in sales, entrepreneurship.
It's easy to get discouraged by no.
But Cardone says most people don't even ask. They limit themselves.
They're afraid to even try.
His message is, go for it. Put yourself out there, even if you face rejection.
Because no isn't always the end.
It could be a stepping stone.
He talks about trying to launch his TV show.
Oh yeah,
People said sales wasn't sexy for TV.
but he didn't give up.
He kept pitching, refining his idea, taking action.
And it paid off.
He got a show, proving the 10x rule works.
It's about resilience, determination, not giving up.
So are you letting fear hold you back? Are you giving up too easily?
What if you embrace those challenges, learned from the no's, and kept going?
It's a good question to think about. Now, shifting gears a bit.
Okay.
Cardone talks about success as a habit, a way of life.
Not just a destination.
Right, he says once you achieve it, you gotta maintain it, multiply it, repeat it.
It's an ongoing process.
He compares it to building a fire.
You can't just light it once.
You gotta keep adding fuel.
Same with success. Keep taking action, pushing yourself, striving for that 10x level
It's about developing those habits, routines, rituals.
that support your goals, keep you moving forward.
He talks about time management, prioritizing tasks, eliminating distractions,
Focusing on what matters.
and delegation. You can't do everything yourself.
Learning to delegate frees up your time and energy.
So, are you using your time wisely? Prioritizing effectively? Delegating when you can?
These are all crucial for that 10x lifestyle.
Now, this next concept is pretty bold.
What's that?
Cardone says, average is a failing formula.
That's a strong statement. Why does he say that?
He challenges the idea that average is okay, that it's safe.
He says it actually sets you up for failure.
Because in today's world, just getting by isn't enough.
You got to stand out, be exceptional.
The 10x.
He compares average to a disease, killing dreams and potential.
Settling for less. Accepting mediocrity.
It's a wake-up call. Complacency won't get you where you want to be.
You got to aim higher, push harder, break free from that average mindset.
It ties back into success being your duty, your responsibility.
You owe it to yourself, to the world, to live up to your potential.
So what are you truly capable of achieving? What legacy do you want to leave?
It's about stepping up, embracing your potential, living a life of extraordinary success.
Powerful questions to consider.
Now let's shift gears and talk about ideas. Cardone says be a producer, not just a consumer.
What does he mean by that?
It's about generating ideas, not just absorbing information.
Turning knowledge into action.
Creating value, making a difference.
He distinguishes between those who passively consume and those who actively apply.
Building businesses, writing books, making things happen.
He tells a story from his early sales days, always coming up with new ideas.
Not just following the script, creating his own.
Experimenting, innovating. That's what led to his success.
It's about being a problem solver, a creator, not just an observer.
So are you a producer or a consumer? Are you applying what you learn?
Are you contributing to the world with your unique value?
Important questions to ask yourself.
Now let's talk about expansion. Cardone's a big believer in it.
Why is that?
He sees it as essential for 10x success.
It's about growing your reach, your impact.
Expanding your business, your network, pushing your limits.
He points out, even in tough times, the successful ones keep expanding.
They see opportunity where others see risk.
He uses himself as an example. During the 2008 crisis,
When everyone was pulling back, he doubled down.
he kept investing, expanding his businesses.
And it worked. He came out stronger.
It shows that sometimes the best opportunities are in the challenges.
Taking risks can lead to big rewards.
Don't let fear hold you back from expansion.
Growth often requires discomfort.
Pushing past those boundaries can lead to breakthroughs.
And it's not just about spending money,
It's about taking action, increasing output, reaching more people.
making a bigger impact.
So where are you holding back? What could you expand in your life or business?
What would it look like to push past your limitations?
Important things to think about.
Now, this next one is interesting. Cardone calls it omnipresence.
Omnipresence, what's that all about?
He says you want to be everywhere all the time.
Visible, present, influential.
Building a brand, a message that can't be ignored.
So it's not just about being good, it's about letting people know.
Getting your message out there, building a reputation.
Use all the channels available, social media, events, everything.
Be proactive, create opportunities, reach a wider audience.
He tells a story about competitors attacking him.
Oh no.
Instead of getting defensive, he focused on expanding his reach.
He became even more visible.
Published books, created content, spoke at events.
He became omnipresent, neutralizing the attack.
It's a lesson in taking the offensive, building something strong.
Controlling the narrative, defining your own success.
Now let's look at some qualities for 10x success.
Okay, what's first?
Cardone says, be unreasonable.
Unreasonable. But we're always told to be reasonable.
He says if your goals seem reasonable to everyone, you're not aiming high enough.
You're playing it safe.
Staying within the limits of what's acceptable.
Limiting your potential.
Challenge the status quo, question assumptions, never settle.
Be bold. Think big. Don't let others limit you.
So are you playing it too safe? Are you afraid to be unreasonable?
What if you embraced that 10x mindset and went for it?
Another key quality is being relentless.
What does that mean?
It's about commitment, no matter the obstacle.
That unwavering determination.
Success is rarely a straight line.
There will be setbacks, challenges, even failures.
But those who keep going, learn from mistakes, they achieve their goals.
He talks about getting his book published, facing tons of rejections.
He didn't give up,
He kept writing, kept pitching, and finally got a deal.
became a bestseller.
It's about resilience, not letting setbacks stop you.
So are you giving up too easily? Are you letting setbacks discourage you?
What would it look like to keep pushing forward no matter what?
And building on that, be a doer.
Not just a talker.
Take action, make things happen.
The world's full of talkers, but it's the doers who create value.
So, are you a doer or a talker? Are you taking action, making progress?
Putting in the work to make your dreams real.
Now let's talk about motivation.
That inner drive.
Cardone says it's essential for 10x success.
But motivation can be tough sometimes.
He says it's an inside job, you can't rely on others.
Find that fire within.
Set big, inspiring goals, ones that get you excited.
Surround yourself with positive people.
Their energy can fuel you.
So what motivates you? Are you passionate about your goals?
Do you have a support system that encourages you?
Those are key questions to ask yourself.
And along with motivation, problem solving.
Seeing challenges as opportunities.
The most successful people are those who solve problems.
They find creative solutions. It's not about avoiding problems, it's about resourcefulness.
Seeing possibilities where others see limitations.
Challenges can fuel creativity and innovation.
And that connects to being a lifelong learner.
Always seeking new knowledge and skills.
In today's world, you got to be adaptable.
Cardone says knowledge is power.
Invest in your growth. Stay ahead of the curve.
Read, attend seminars, keep learning.
So are you investing in yourself? Are you constantly growing?
Staying curious and expanding your knowledge.
No, communication is key.
Being able to get your ideas across.
You got to be clear, tell stories, present with confidence,
Connect with your audience.
practice those skills, seek opportunities to speak, write, engage.
Hone your ability to articulate your message.
So how are your communication skills? Are you able to persuade, to make an impact?
Are you constantly working on improving?
And along with that, decisiveness.
Being able to make choices.
Indecision is a killer. It paralyzes you.
It's easy to get stuck overthinking things.
Trust your instincts, gather the information, then decide and move forward.
Don't get caught in analysis paralysis.
So, are you decisive? Can you make choices confidently?
How can you become more action-oriented?
Now, shifting gears again, generosity.
Connecting back.
Cardone says it's part of the 10x life.
It's easy to get caught up in personal success and forget about giving back.
True success is about making a difference.
Leaving the world better than you found it.
Find ways to give back, support causes, mentor others.
We're all connected. Our actions have ripple effects.
Helping others enriches our own lives too.
So how are you giving back? Are you using your success to make a positive impact?
Now let's talk about something essential, fear management.
Fear, it's something we all experience.
It can hold us back.
But Cardone says successful people aren't fearless.
They know how to manage their fear.
It's not about eliminating it, it's about understanding it.
Identify your fears, figure out where they come from, develop strategies to overcome them.
Take action in the face of fear.
The best way to overcome it is to do the thing you're afraid of.
Push past your comfort zone. Prove to yourself you're capable.
So what are your biggest fears? Are they holding you back?
What would it look like to confront them, take action anyway?
Important questions to consider.
Now, along with fear, managing your emotions in general.
Our emotions can empower us or sabotage us.
We gotta learn to channel them in a positive way.
Develop self-awareness, understand your triggers,
Learn to regulate your emotions to support your goals.
recognize when your emotions are helping or hindering you,
Shift to a state that empowers you to take action,
and maintain a positive attitude. It's a choice.
even when things are tough.
Cultivate optimism, focus on solutions, believe in your ability to overcome challenges.
So are you in control of your emotions? Are you choosing a positive attitude?
How can you become more emotionally resilient?
No, energy management.
We all have limited energy.
How do we use it wisely?
Your energy directly impacts your productivity.
We gotta take care of ourselves, physically and mentally.
Get enough sleep, eat well, exercise, do things that replenish you.
Manage your mental energy too. Avoid negativity, limit stress.
Create a sustainable lifestyle.
You can't pour from an empty cup.
So how are you managing your energy?
Mm.
Are you taking care of yourself?
Have focus.
In today's world, distractions are everywhere.
We gotta be able to concentrate.
Develop strategies to eliminate distractions.
Prioritize tasks. Stay on track.
Be present in the moment. Multitasking is a myth.
Trying to do too much leads to overwhelm.
So how are you managing your focus? Are you able to concentrate?
What can you do to create a more focused environment?
Now, expectations.
Cardone says, Manage your expectations.
Unrealistic expectations lead to disappointment.
Recognize that success takes time.
Set realistic goals. Break them down into smaller steps.
Celebrate your progress. Be patient.
Success rarely happens overnight.
Embrace the journey. Trust the process.
So, are your expectations realistic? Are you patient? Are you celebrating your wins?
And finally, relationships.
They can make or break us.
Surround yourself with positive, supportive people.
Those who lift you up, encourage you.
Set boundaries. Protect your time and energy.
Avoid toxic relationships.
Make sure your relationships are serving you, supporting your growth.
So, are your relationships healthy? Are you setting boundaries?
Welcome back to our deep dive. We're wrapping up our look at Cardone's 10X rule.
It's been quite a journey so far.
It has, and in this last part, we've got some more key concepts to unpack.
Yeah, some really interesting ones actually.
What's first on the list?
Cardone's take on criticism, it's pretty unique.
Criticism, most people try to avoid it.
He actually encourages us to attract it.
Attract criticism, that's counterintuitive.
He says it's often a sign you're doing something noteworthy.
Shaking things up, making an impact.
Exactly. If you're not getting any criticism, you're probably playing it too safe.
Not making waves.
He points out the most successful people are often the most criticized,
Because they're pushing boundaries, disrupting industries.
challenging the status quo.
So instead of fearing criticism, what if we see it as a sign we're on the right track?
It's a chance to grow, to refine.
To learn and get better.
Now, another thing Cardone talks about is that can-do attitude.
Sounds simple, but what does it really mean?
He says it's about believing in yourself, your abilities, your goals,
It's a choice, choosing optimism and determination.
even when things get tough.
It's easy to get discouraged, doubt yourself.
But you have the power to choose your attitude.
A can-do attitude makes a huge difference.
You got to be your own cheerleader. Believe in your vision.
Even when others don't.
Cultivate that inner strength, that resilience.
So are you a can-do person, or do you let doubt hold you back?
Something to think about.
Now let's talk goals. Cardone's a big believer in setting them.
He is, and he's got specific ideas about how to do it effectively.
It's easy to dismiss goals as just something you write down and forget.
He says setting clear, specific, ambitious goals is crucial.
Why is that?
Without goals, you're drifting, no direction.
They provide focus, motivation, a way to measure progress.
Define what you want. Set goals that inspire you. Write them down.
Make them real, review them regularly, track your progress.
So, do you have goals? Are they written down? Are they specific and challenging?
Are you working towards them?
And of course, time management.
Making the most of every minute.
Cardone's all about maximizing productivity.
Time is precious, use it wisely.
Prioritize tasks, eliminate time wasters. Focus on what matters.
Delegate when you can, free up your time and energy.
So, are you a good time manager? Are you prioritizing effectively?
Now this next one's crucial, taking care of yourself.
Self-care is not just about pampering yourself.
It's essential for 10x success.
You can't perform at your best if you're burnt out.
Prioritize your health, get enough sleep, eat well, exercise.
Manage stress, set boundaries, create a work-life balance.
It's not selfish, it's essential for reaching your goals.
So, are you taking care of yourself? Physically, mentally, emotionally?
Well, that brings us to the end of our deep dive into Grant Cardone's 10x rule.
It's a powerful framework for achieving extraordinary things
It's about setting big goals, taking massive action.
and developing the mindset, habits, and skills to make it happen.
It might not be for everyone, but for those who want to break free from mediocrity.
To push their limits and create an exceptional life.
It's a great roadmap.
The question is, what will you do with this information?
What resonated with you? What 10x action can you take right now?
Keep pushing, keep striving, keep aiming for that 10x level of success.
Until next time, keep reaching for those goals.